Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam, and I'm coming back to you once again. This time, we're going to go over to the U.S. Sun, and this is in the celebrities column. World-renowned singer, Motown alum, Smokey Robinson, age 85, and wife is being sued by four women as star accused of raping staff after luring them to cameraless room. I will list the article writer and all of the details in the description. And if you have not already heard about this, it has been reported by a few outlets and things, and I will reserve my opinion until the end of the article. But the article starts off by saying Smokey Robinson has been accused of ASing multiple former employees in his home after luring them to rooms without cameras. The Motown legend, 85, is being sued by four women who claim his wife helped him carry out the alleged assault. Terrible. It says Robinson is being accused of sexual battery, ASing, false imprisonment, gender violence, and creating a hostile work environment in a lawsuit filed in Los Angeles on Tuesday. His wife, Frances Robinson, is accused of knowing about the alleged assaults and doing nothing about them, according to court documents obtained by the U.S. Sun. All four of Robinson's alleged victims have chosen to remain unnamed and are referring to themselves as Jane Doe in the complaint. The women all worked as housekeeping for the Robinsons at their mansion in the Chatsworth neighborhood of Los Angeles. The alleged assaults occurred from 2007 through 2024. Each of the women accused Robinson of forcibly touching their entire bodies, including their nether regions, chesticles, legs, abdomen, lips, and face. All four claimed they didn't consent to Robinson's alleged sexual advances. One of the Jane Doe's claims Robinson started ASing her in 2016. The former employee claims that when she was home alone with the singer at his house, Robinson would text her and ask her to meet at places in the house that didn't have home surveillance video. He would then summon her to either the laundry room or garage where there were no cameras, court documents allege. The woman claims Robinson would then ASing and rape her with no cameras could be seen, or when no cameras could see. She alleged Robinson would threaten her by saying he would make his wife be mean to her if she didn't oblige. The former worker also claimed Robinson's wife had settled previous cases with women who settled similar alleged assaults. The most recent claims, another housekeeper claims in the lawsuit that she was first ASing just a month after she started cleaning the couple's house in 2013. 2023. I'm sorry. My bad. I don't know why I keep saying 2013. When Robinson was 83, Smokey Robinson's career. Smokey Robinson rose to fame as an R&B singer after founding the group of the Miracles in 1955. The Miracles was the first group to join the iconic label Motown Records. He wrote classics Motown hits including My Girl, You Really Got a Hold on Me, The Tears of a Clown, Oh Baby Baby, the tracks of My Tears. After briefly leaving the Miracles to focus on his role as vice president of Motown Records, Robinson returned with a solo album called Smokey in 1973. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame In 1988, in April 2023, he released an album called Gasm, Gas, Gams. I'm sorry. His first album of all new material in over a decade. On April 25th, 2025, he released an album called What the World Needs Now. The housekeeper said Robinson would take his wife to the nail salon on Saturdays and rush home to be home alone with his alleged victim. She claimed Robinson would grape her on the bed and ignore her resistance. The anonymous housekeeper said she quit the job in February 2024 due to the alleged assaults. Another woman, identified as Jane Doe 3, alleged Robinson raped her over 20 times throughout her employment. She claimed that on one occasion, Robinson offered her $500 to let him give her fellatio, which she refused. She resigned from her job in April of 2024 due to the alleged assaults in the tense work environment, according to the lawsuit. A fourth woman, identified as Jane Doe 4, said in addition to working as a housekeeper, she was also employed as Francis' personal assistant, cook, and hairdresser. Jane Doe 4 claimed Robinson allegedly raped her for the first time on a trip to his home in Las Vegas in 2007. He also said she traveled with the couple and never got paid for it. All four women claimed the couple didn't pay them minimum wage, holiday pay, or overtime when they worked more than 8 hours. They said in the court documents that the couple never provided them with wage statements for the hours they worked. Hostile work environment. All four of the accusers say Francis Robinson contributed to the hostile work environment by regularly screaming at them. The women claim Francis used racial slurs and derogatory language when yelling at them. Three of the Jane Does said they were hesitant to come forward because they were worried the legal battle might affect their immigration statuses. The women are suing Robinson for $50 million. Robinson has yet to speak publicly about the allegations, which comes as he's been on a press tour for his latest album, which was released on April 25th. His team hasn't responded to the U.S. Sun's request for comment. Okay? And that is the end of the article right there. You know, at this point, I'm just waiting to see who else comes and has issues. I'm just saying, like, not putting a stain on, any particular, record label or anything like that. But given what's the ongoing trial that's going on with Diddy right now, it's really like, are you surprised at Motown? Motown in all of its glory and splendor. And trust me, I love Motown. It has created and produced some of the most world-renowned artists, to ever come onto the music scene. One of my favorites being, Stevie Wonder, uh, you know, and many others that have, sung or did songs in correlation with Motown and things of that nature, but at its core, we just have to be real and realistic about some of these things. To say or have a mindset that some of these things did not happen, at this point, Motown has been in, business for years, as well as, Bad Boy Records and other record companies and record labels. my only thing is, why is it that is, record labels like Bad Boy Records and Motown are the only ones that's being spotlighted here? Because it's definitely not just with Bad Boy Records, and it's definitely not with just Motown. I'm not saying that Smokey Robinson is guilty or not guilty. That's not for me to decide. But I mean, of course, we are going to have people in the public that are going to try people that have these certain allegations come, up or out about them. What I'm saying is that I find it very interesting that it's just, the quote unquote black urban record labels that are, having these issues or having people come out with allegations when, to be honest with you, all of the record labels need to be investigated for these types of things that have happened. Um, you know, and to say that it's just, you know, these two particular or certain kind of, record labels or singers from this record label or that record label that is doing the same thing that their other record label counterparts are doing, um, is crazy, you know. Um, I just feel like all of them need to be investigated at this point. All of the record labels need to be investigated. I bet you will find at least one or two, maybe more cases of things that have happened behind the scenes, things that were covered up, things that were swept underneath the rug, paid off, however you want to, categorize or summarize it. It has happened, and that is a really real thing. Um, for the women to come out and say, three of them, for the reason is that they did not want to come forward because it might affect their immigration status. We have to always be mindful, stepping away from the Smokey Robinson article and just saying in general, how many situations have you known that people with immigration status, or have something to do with immigration, as them being immigrants, have experienced these types of things? It doesn't make it right because you know because they're immigrants or whatever the case. It doesn't make it right to take advantage of these people. It doesn't make them right to not feel safe in their work environment. They should be able to feel safe in their work environment just like any American U.S. citizen should feel safe in their work environment. This is not towards the article that I'm going on. I'm just speaking in general right now. But just to say that, oh no, things like this don't happen is not true. There has been many instances of people that have worked for well-to-do people, not necessarily in the music business, just all around. And because of their power, their prestige, and their wealth, they tend to misuse and abuse uh people that work under them, you know uh and it's really sad. you know Smokey Robinson, just like Diddy, just like any other person that has been accused of anything like this, they are innocent until proven guilty. But as I said before a couple of minutes ago, the court of public opinion is something totally different. I have no bearings on this either way. I am definitely looking for more details to come out and things of that nature, but don't be surprised if it's, this is an extortion, or, uh, you know, they're just mad because they got fired, or they got fired because they stole, or they got fired because some other grievance that allegedly happened. You know, I would just say that keep an open mind and wait for more details to come out. So, which is the same thing that I did when Diddy was announced and all of the stuff that was going on and stuff. Even though there has been rumors, going on for years about Diddy. I wasn't particularly surprised when everything just started to fall out and people started to speak up and things like that. It's just one of those things. But like I said, they are all innocent until proven guilty. But it's very disheartening and very sad. But you just never know. It doesn't mean that a person has never, experienced anything like that, or it hasn't been a situation that has been covered up, or whatever the case is. It's just that generally the public doesn't hear about it. If you are in entertainment or anything like that, you probably heard a couple of stories and stuff like that. But for the most part, you just can't discount these people because one, they're immigrants, uh, or have something to do with immigration status. I don't really know what their situation is with that, either way, or you know, or it's just a person that mad because they laugh or whatever the case is. Like I said, more details need to come out and things like that. And if in fact it has some type of validity to the claims that are being alleged against him or anyone, um, period, they need to have their day in court. They need to definitely have their due process. There's no room for hiding these types of people. Not saying that it's anything to do with Smokey Robinson, but just in general, people that will abuse people under them, working under them, people that will take advantage of people that work under them, people that will not pay people fairly and things like that. They need to be held accountable for it. I don't care who it is. I don't care what they've done. I don't care what they contribute to society with. If you're doing wrong and you're not treating people fairly, then you need to be outed. Point blank period. Regardless of who you are, regardless of what industry you're in, regardless if it's big business, small business, Fortune 500, Fortune 100, whatever, Wall Street, whatever, you need to be outed. Point blank and period. You need to feel as much as discomfort as anybody else that you have hurt. And this is just me generally speaking, generally about anything, involving people that have, some type of wealth or some type of power over people. You need to be outed. You need to be held to account for what you've done. But like I said, again, innocent until proven guilty is very sad. It's a sad situation. I'm just waiting to see who else gets the axe. And I truly do hope that, anybody else in any other record label that has experienced these types of things, whether they be artists, whether they be employees, they please speak out. We need to hear these stories because we need to shatter the glass mirror of the perception that people are perfect and these people are, good people and they're so talented. Talent does not excuse you from being a terrible person in real life, you know? So, with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Drop down in the comments section. My videos have been a little bit long. I have been going on a little, rant or whatever. But if you stayed this far, I truly do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And with that, you guys, I will see you in the next video. And always remember, be good to yourself first.